Hi. It's good to see you guys again.
Wow. This is different. My first time camping.
I'm looking forward to this week.
And so you should. This week symbolizes great things to come. Let's go over there.
Okay. Let's go.
This week symbolizes, and has, meaning for many things. It reminds us of when our forefathers left Egypt and wandered the deserts for 40 years. It also reminds and prepares us for the tribulation when everyone in this world will be displaced for a time. We of course, hope, and pray, that we will be among the few that are kept safe in the place of safety. Everyone is the same here. We are all in the same boat. Although, some here may be wealthier now than others, when the tribulation kicks in big time, money will mean nothing. Helping and relying on others will be what counts. Not just talk and money. So, this week helps us all to live, to an extent, the same way as Moses and our people did for 40 years. Everyone helps to set up camp and dismantle the camp when it's over. We all work together to keep the camp clean, cook, eat and fellowship together.
Wow. Sounds like a really good way to form close bonds with other people.
Exactly. Just like Moses and our forefathers had to do, to survive in the wilderness. The only times they suffered really was when they became divided.
I think I am going to like this week very much.
I know people that keep the Feast of Tabernacles. But I was told that some stay in hotels. Others stay in trailer parks, or other cheap accommodation, depending on what they can afford.
That is true. Most churches that keep tabernacles will do exactly that. But how can they get a sense of what our forefathers went through? How can you form true bonds with people, if the wealthy have it good, and others rough it? I prefer what we are doing here. Any time. But that's me. If you want to do what others do, it's up to you.
No thanks. We like it here. We want to know our brethren, not just play at it.
Good. Let's talk more now about the Feast of Tabernacles. This stage of Yahweh's plan also represents the millennial reign of Yahshua as King of Kings. Those that survive the tribulation will be taught the ways of Yahweh under the leadership of Christ and the resurrected saints. With Satan out of the way, progress will be swift, as all nations and people will see the benefits of turning to Yahweh, and will finally work together. Yahweh commanded us to keep the Feast of Tabernacles in Leviticus 23:34. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days to the Lord. We are to live for 7 days away from our normal homes in booths, or tents if you like, as it is meant to be a temporary dwelling. Like I said earlier, this was to remind us of the time Yahweh brought our forefathers out of Egypt, and the time they spent wandering the wilderness. Peter referred to this time as a time of restoration. Acts 3:21. Whom heaven must receive, until the times of restoration of all things, which Yahweh has spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets, since the world began. In the New Testament it represents 1,000 years of peace and rebuilding a better, cleaner and caring world. This time of rebuilding is spoken of in Isaiah 61 verse 4. And they shall rebuild the old ruins, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the ruined cities, the desolations of many generations. Yahweh's laws will be written in the hearts and minds of his people the world over, so that everyone will follow Yahweh. Those that are taken in the first resurrection will be worthy to be kings and priests in his kingdom for 1,000 years. These highly blessed ones will help rule and restore the world back to its former glory. To be ready for the second resurrection, we can read about this in Revelation 20 verse 6. Blessed and holy is he who has part in the first resurrection. Over such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. In that time the holy days will still be kept, for these days are forever. The Feast of Tabernacles will be kept by everyone. Still not all nations will turn to Yahweh at first. Despite the horror of the tribulation, there will be a few stubborn nations. But they will change their minds quickly. Zechariah 14 verse 16 to 18. Verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone who is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 17. And it shall be that whichever of the families of the earth do not come up to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, on them, there will be no rain. Verse 18. If the family of Egypt will not come up and enter in, they shall have no rain. They shall receive the plague with which the Lord strikes the nations who do not come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Rest assured, sooner rather than later, all nations will keep the Feast of Tabernacles, not to mention all the other holy days. The first step is to stop thinking of them as a Jewish thing. Yahweh intended His holy days and laws for all people, not just Jews.
Wow.
1,000 years of peace? Wow, that's something to look forward to.
Yes. I can't wait.
Well, for now, let's get your tents set up.
Okay.